All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of the Courtside Central live show. Thanks so much for listening, tuning in, watching. I know this is nothing compared to Nam's intro last week because I listened to yours, Nam. You were crushing it, man. And I was like, I just don't have that personality. So, we'll have to schedule maybe you taking over the intros because that was actually really cool. And I think it threw all the guys off guard. They're like, wait, what?
I was like, yay, at 5'5".
Oh, he was being nice. 5'5". Oh man, I thought he was gonna be like 5 foot nothing.
5'5".
On a box.
5 foot nothing. Oh man, but yeah, I missed out on last week's episode, so sorry guys, but y'all did a great job. So thanks, Nam, for taking that over. And for the guys as well for hanging out. Big shout out to Shadow Dragon as well, who was on the episode. Even though she's a Celtics fan, she knows a lot about basketball, and I'll give her that. I will give her that. So we got the four of us here. So we don't have a starting five, but we got four of us here. So we got Stone, Nam, and Nick. So let's pass it over to Stone first. How you doing, Jay Stone?
I'm good, man. Just another Monday.
Another Monday.
Right along.
Stone cutter. All right, then we got the cleaner over there. What's up, Nam? How's it going, dude?
How you doing? So I want to say you this weekend got me all pumped up and hyped up because I saw that Jake Paul fight. Not that I actually saw the fight, but I was just like, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do when it comes to Halloween? I'm gonna dress up like Jake Paul. I'm gonna walk over to Stone and I'm gonna knock him out. So we're gonna pass this whole thing out. Hashtag beat up John Stone. Hashtag beat up John Stone. Let's do this, guys.
All right. I mean, I'll support the cause, I guess.
Ben Askren look, so.
He said, the flab or what is it? What?
I don't know.
It's mainly like because you have like a little bit of curly hair, right, Stone?
I do.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Because, man, when Askren took off his shirt, I was like,
face,
oh, no,
but
this
mainly the hair.
good.
Oh,
okay.
I'm glad I passed as a 36-year-old with a hip replacement.
Nom. It's mainly the hair and the punchable face.
Gotcha.
So,
both.
Punchable face?
And hey guys, I know you guys play Call of Duty with him. I don't, but does he play Call of Duty like Askin's like fights slow?
Yeah, 100%. See,
he doesn't play Modern Warfare anymore.
Nick and Robles are the run into a situation. It doesn't matter what it is, and I'm just kind of like the guy who sits in the back, and I'm like, let's see what happens.
If we get the win, we get the win. But you know what? I'm going in.
Guns blazing.
The blaze of glory.
And you know what? Every time me and Nick do go in, and we hear that Stone is in the background, we blame him because it's his fault. He should have been a team player.
Exactly.
And last but not least, we got the legit dad bod himself with some new headphones. You might have wore these last week, but it's the first time I'm seeing them. I like them. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's been like Stone likes to say, meh day. And so it's been a day, but barely got here, and I'm ready to rock the show. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Woo. Gotta get a little Ric Flair from Saturday. So yeah, woo. And a little.
Oh. Dude, that was great. That little slap fight thing. I never watched one. That was pretty funny.
But Ric Flair, man, I don't know if he might have been high too. I don't know because he was, or that's just his personality because he's like out there.
They were all on drugs.
I think they were. I mean, but
big shout out. They have to be, right?
I mean, everyone actually, even if they weren't trying to be, just secondhand, it's just in the air,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, big shout out to Nick. He invited me over to his casa to go view the fight, and it was a lot of fun. It was an experienced thriller, let me tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't really. Anyways, different sport, but it was interesting. Let's just put it at that. I don't know if I'll do it again. We'll see. Depends on the fight.
Depends on the fight.
Yeah, see, exactly. Nick, right there is exactly why, when we do pay-per-views, we'll look at the entire fight card and we're like, all right, is this worth spending money on? And if it is, we'll do it. But if there's like 1 or 2 fights out of an entire fight card that we're like, okay, we want to see that, we're typically like, we're not going to spend $60 on that.
Well, I was excited about if
just say it. You were excited to see Jake Paul
train
potentially get his ass knocked out.
Everyone
just
wanted to see
say it.
Yes,
we just wanted to see it.
I did.
Yeah.
Nope.
But
You're
as
only
soon
50 women.
as soon as I saw Ben Askren in the ring, and like
As
I
soon as he
could
took his
see
shirt
like
off.
when he took it, no, you're like no joke. That's a win, Nick. When he took it off, it was like, oh,
my God,
man,
this dude has like a full like 8-pack.
he's gonna get knocked out. And sure enough, he got knocked out.
Pretty quick.
So
Before
spoiler
Snoop Dogg
alert,
even,
but I'm sure you've seen it.
No, it
Before
is not a
Snoop Dogg
spoiler. That
was
shit was
born.
all over the internet as soon as it happened.
Oh
My buddy-
gosh.
I think someone was live streaming it on YouTube for free.
Oh really?
And so that's where he was watching it at. And like as soon as Askren went down, he texted me, my brother, and he was like, "Yeah, Askren lost." And I was like, "Already?"
It just started.
Yeah, dude. You don't understand. I was so disappointed.
I was.
I was just glad
like
I
me
didn't
and Nick
spend
just
money.
like
I'm not
looking
gonna
at each
lie,
other
me
like,
and John
we're
are old
like,
guys, and we're getting tired. I can see him like his eyes, like he's wiping them.
yeah.
Like, I just gotta stay up for this fight. Come on. And then we get to the fight, a minute and what, like 12 or 20 seconds or so, and then it's over, and we're like, we stayed up for this.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Like there's been a lot of UFC fights too that have been like that, where you stay up and you push yourself to get to the main event, and then the main event's over in like 30 seconds.
The thing with Triller though, and we'll kind of end here because we got to talk
Right.
basketball.
We got a show to do.
We got a show to do. But I will say for Triller, it's like an MMA fight. You're seeing fights constantly. Triller, they started one fight, and then there's like 4 artists who are rapping and singing, and it's like by the time you get to the next fight, it's like, man, I was like, I just wanted to see fighting tonight.
Yeah.
Like I would have loved to watch like 5 more slap fights, but instead of like, but oh well, it was like I said, it was an experience, and I won't take it back. It was fun. It was fun. Oh, all right. So I introduced the guys, and I totally forgot about this question here. So I'm gonna go around the table here. So the question of the week for us, and if you're listening on YouTube, you can leave it in the comments, or if you are here on Twitch and you want to drop a comment live right now, you can do that. So our question to the panel here, as these notes here say, what is your favorite basketball movie of all time? Let's start. We'll go back around here. We'll start with you, Nick. Favorite basketball movie of all time.
I just had
Go
one
for it.
question, just in reference to this. Does it have to be a movie
Basketball?
specific
Yes.
to basketball, or just a movie that had like it's centered sort of around basketball being in it?
You can have one that's centered around with basketball.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got one.
We'll hear yours.
Yeah, I've
and
got
then
one.
We'll yay or nay it.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll
Fair enough.
technical foul,
There you
flagrant,
go.
1,
Yeah.
2, whatever.
Blow a whistle.
So that's the foul or play on segment today is what Stone's answer is going to be.
There you go. All right, so let's start off with you, Nick. Favorite basketball movie of all time. Let's hear it.
It's gotta be the Kevin Durant Thunderstruck. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Of
You know,
course.
he's saying just
Of
kidding because he
course.
knows it's true, and he's just like,
you stole Stones.
I know, right?
I've got a couple others. It's okay.
No, okay, for real though. I think you guys should know this one, but mine's semi-pro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody love everybody.
That was
Exactly.
legit one of mine I was going to pick. But yeah, Semi-Pro is an amazing movie.
If you guys stay tuned at the end of the episode, Nick's gonna sing "Love Me Sexy" on.
Oh, dude, love me sexy. Love me sexy.
Oh, there's a little preview for you.
There's a little preview.
Oh,
Everybody love everybody. It's on the wall.
All right, semi-pro for Nick. All right, let's move it on to Nam. What's your favorite movie? Basketball movie.
So my favorite movie is White Man Can't Jump.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Fucking 2 for 2. This is bullshit.
Hey, it's a classic. Come on, Stone. We all
Googling now.
everyone
He's all Google now, like, oh.
everyone knows that for you it's Space Jam 2, so don't even deny it.
Love it. Haven't even seen it yet.
but it has
The
LeBron
trailer says
James.
it all.
Okay, White Man Can't Jump. I mean, you can't go wrong with that one.
Classic.
That's a classic. That is a classic. All right, Stone.
Oh fuck.
I knew you were gonna say this too, so I put you last so you can be in this predicament.
Thank you. Man, Coach Carter probably.
Ooh,
That's
that's a good one.
That is
That's
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
I was gonna say that one first, but then I started thinking. I was like, oh wait, semi-pro. But yeah, that is a good one.
Oh, how
is a
could
really
I
good
forget?
How could I forget? Oh no!
I'll wait for you to rattle off some like honorable mentions though, Robles. I'll let you get
Okay.
your because I don't want to say one and then it was the one you're gonna pick. So I'll just yeah.
Okay, I do have a few honorable mentions. I'm gonna go just like on ones there because there's some great ones, but ones that I like watched like a lot. Like I would
Like
just
Mike?
play it. A little Bow Wow. Oh man, I
Laced
forgot
up
about that
them
one.
busted up
Forgot about
shoes.
that one. All right, so I think for me it's gonna have to be The Air Up There.
Yeah.
With Kevin Bacon. I love that movie, and that's one that I would just pop on like a whole lot, and watch it. And so yeah, that was a great one for me. My honorable mention though is gonna have to be Love and Basketball, just because not just basketball, but also like the relationship in that movie. Like when I was growing up, that actually hit home for me. And just that sense, like it was nice to see like back then giving women the support as well. Like, hey, women ball too, and this guy can ball too. So they're like in this relationship where they're both trying to pursue that dream, which is really, really cool. So for and that's another one that I did watch a lot. So that would have to be another one for me. So Stone, what's the other one you're gonna say? Unless I said it there.
No. I mean, you know, Space Jam obviously counts because you know Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes in a basketball game is incredible, especially as a kid. You know what I mean? Like that's just incredible to watch. Can we give a shout out to everyone's favorite ballin' golden retriever, Airbud? Come on.
I was gonna say Airbud
Come on.
too.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that.
That dog could hoop. that dog was the Steph Curry of movie basketball shooters. Let's just call it what it is. And then one movie I love to watch, especially during the summer because it was like on TV all the time, was Joanna Man. I loved that movie.
No, you're
that
right.
movie cracked me
TV
up.
A lot. Yep.
Every time it was on TV, I would watch it. That movie was hysterical to me.
No, that one was funny.
Yeah, I'll watch it anytime it's on. It's really good.
Another one for me, I think I've mentioned it to Nam before, but The Sixth Man.
Yeah.
That one was really cool for me too. So,
yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Y'all got any other ones off the top?
I did like Glory Road just because it's El Paso that they.
I don't think I've seen that.
You never seen Glory Road?
I don't think I have.
Disney Plus right there.
The miners.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's like Remember the Titans meet
it's
basketball.
totally but I will say,
like
okay,
that.
have you guys watched The Way Back with Ben Affleck?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Didn't care for it. Did not care for it.
Really? Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never ended up watching that. I forgot about that though.
Yeah, it was like
because I remember seeing previews and I was like,
during the
that
pandemic.
could be interesting. Right? Yeah. Okay.
You
said you didn't care for it.
Yeah, I mean, we bought it and we were like, oh yeah, let's watch this. You know, it was like buy at home or you can see it at the theater, and oh no, it was just like buy from home. That's what it was.
Okay.
And so we got it and I was like, yeah, this looks interesting, and
it was not.
I think yeah, it was very predictable. Like
okay.
You knew he was gonna go down and then up, but in the Ben Affleck way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mom, did you see it?
I haven't seen it. It was one of those movies that I'll have to check out anyways because I haven't seen Love and Basketball, but I hear nothing but great things about.
Oh, that one's good
you haven't
too,
seen that one? Oh, definitely watch that.
I just bought it on Vudu, so I gotta watch it here in a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait to. I need to go back and watch it now.
yeah.
And no one mentioned Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew was actually kind of interesting. It wasn't
bad.
bad.
I haven't seen it, honestly.
It wasn't bad. It's on my Vudu as well too, Stone. So you can always check it out there too as well.
Nice. I was gonna say Teen Wolf.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Ooh. I mean,
Michael J. Fox
there's
is a
lot.
werewolf dunking
mean,
on people. Come
Yeah.
on.
That was fun. Anyone
I was
like
gonna say,
Hoosiers fan or like the
Oh, yeah,
old
Hoosiers.
school?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was
We
gonna say
watched that
Hoosiers is really
In
good.
high
Yeah.
school all the time.
Hoosiers, He Got Game. Love that movie too. As
Oh,
well.
He Got Game. We didn't even say He Got Game. Wow.
Yeah, He Got Game. Thanks.
Sorry,
Of course,
Jesus Shuttleworth. My apologies.
and Above the Rim. And shout out to Shadow Dragon. I'm sure. I don't know if she's actually watched this one, but Celtic
Above
Pride.
the Rim.
You come
Who's
on,
it?
dude. You know she's watched it. She probably owns it.
Who's in Above the Rim?
Tupac Shakur. And
Okay.
it was yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was like, I don't want to say the other actor because I'm probably get it wrong, and people are going to be
Okay.
mad and be like, "You're racist," and I'll be like, "I'm sorry."
That my bad. All right. Well, we're going to move on here, but yeah, if you're listening later on YouTube, like, let us know what are some of what's your favorite basketball movie that maybe we missed and you were like are super offended right now. I would love to know how I offended you. So, but let us know. Let us know if you agree with some of ours, and yeah, if you haven't seen some of those, definitely watch them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna move on to the news, some rapid fire news of the week. It's been a busy week, not just in basketball for us as well, but we're here for basketball. So one thing that kind of like came out of nowhere, and we've kind of talked about him on the show, just because of a trade that happened and stuff, on our teams, me and Nick's team, and that's LaMarcus Aldridge. So the news that came out, and you've probably heard about it already, but LaMarcus Aldridge retires, and this is due to an irregular heartbeat. Now, this is something that he's had in the past. This wasn't like the first sign of it. He's had this with other teams he's played on. I guess just not as bad, or he realizes he's at the end of his career, and he's older. This could be troublesome. So I kind of want to just read what he said, and then we'll get your thoughts as far as his thinking, or his, not his thinking, but just everything in the situation. So he said, "My last game I played while dealing with an irregular heartbeat. Later on that night, my rhythm got even worse, which really worried me even more. The next morning, I told the team what was going on, and they were great getting me to the hospital and getting me checked out. Though I'm better now, what I felt with my heart that night was still one of the scariest things I've experienced. With that being said, I've made the difficult decision to retire from the NBA. For 15 years, I've put basketball first, and now it is time to put my health and family first. I'm thankful for everything this game has given to me, the great memories, including all the ups and downs and the friendships I made, and I will keep with me forever. I thank Portland for drafting a skinny Texas kid. Shout out to Texas, and giving him a chance. The city of Portland has given me some unforgettable years. They will always remain in my heart. I want to thank the Spurs for letting me into the family and giving me 5 fun years. Last but not least, I want to thank Brooklyn. You wanted me for me. In a game that's changing so much, you asked me to come and just do what I do, which was good to hear. I'm sorry it didn't get to last long, but I've definitely had fun being a part of this special group. You never know when something will come to an end, so make sure you enjoy it every day. I can truly say I did just that." So let's get some thoughts out there. Stone, as far as him retiring, and his letter that he gave to NBA fans, you got any initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer. Just the retiring aspect from the game. Obviously, it was well before he wanted to, and it's never a good feeling to have to stop something you love well before you want to. But I think that he has the right idea. Your health should be before anything, and your health and your family should come before anything. And if the game potentially put you at risk, you have to, the smartest thing you can do is realize it and step back. And I can only imagine how hard it was to come out and admit it, because I feel like in those situations when a player is announcing it, he's coming, and it's not just him and some people talking, "Hey, I'm gonna retire." It's him announcing it to everybody, the league, the fans, everybody, I think it becomes even more real at that point. And for him to do that and just let everyone know what's going on, and to just say, hey, it's time for me to to move on. I mean, I can only imagine how hard that was, but it is easily the best decision for him, no matter how hard the decision was. And mad respect to the guy, for everything he's done in the league, just to keep grinding and keep pushing. Playing in the NBA isn't easy for anyone. It's a grind, and he stuck to it for what was it, 16 years. Yeah, like that's an insane amount of time, to push like that. And so, nothing but respect for him, man. It sucks, but you made the best decision possible.
Yeah. Let's move it over to you now. Let's hear it.
Yeah, just hearing about his retirements it was heartbreaking in my opinion for me, because I was never a humongous fan of LaMarcus Aldridge, but just knowing someone going out and not being able to go out their own way, bothers me a lot, because I know he's dedicated so much to basketball. And even for me, like, I barely dedicated anything to basketball, and I cannot, like, whether or not I can get back on the basketball court or not kind of throws me off too.
Yeah.
So for him, like a livelihood, that's rough. And then it's to know that he's been doing this for a while, and having that, there's a lot of things that we don't know as fans, behind the scenes, that we criticize. I mean, because we're fans, but I mean, you have to also remember that these guys are human too. I mean, I remember when I was young and I was watching a basketball game with the Boston Celtics and the Charlotte Hornets, and Reggie Lewis fainted, or basically collapsed on the floor with a regular heartbeat too. Eventually, later on, passed away. And next, the history of issues like this. If you watch the 30 for 30 off of ESPN, the Guru of Go, as one of the players, he also died on the court. This is very serious, and I'm glad that he was able to walk away, because someone with as much of a competitive nature as these players are, because they're the top 1% of basketball players out there, it's hard to admit what people may conceive as weakness, or it's hard to walk away from being competitive and not wanting to be on the court. Just like us on a smaller level of wanting to play, like, Call of Duty until we like dominate, it's kind of hard to walk away, except for Stone, because
he uninstalled. Yeah,
he just straight uninstalled. But
quitter.
But hopefully everything goes well. He gets, he lives a long, prosperous life with his family, and nothing else is a worry from there on out. But I hate to see him go.
Yeah, you raise a good point, and I know I forget this too, but these are the top 1%. Like, they're in the NBA for a reason, and even some of the guys who you thought would never be out of the NBA, some of them like get drafted high. They figure out they can't ball, and then they get lost in the shuffle, and then they're out of the league, to where the people still in it for 15 years. LaMarcus, he's a stud. Like, he can play the game of basketball. So I definitely feel that point. Let's move it. Let's hear your thoughts, Nick.
Yeah, I used to feel kind of bad actually when I heard the news, because I was pretty harsh on him, practicing like, oh, he's a quitter. And, we forget that these people aren't machines. they, there could be issues. And I mean, you don't get as good as a player like he is, because he's a good player. You can't deny his offensive skills. And I mean, he even improved on his defense while he was with us. So, he definitely is competitive, but there was times where I'm like, man, he's like not playing like he's not playing like we're paying him. And I get so mad, but now I'm like, crap. I mean, he probably could have died, and he's still playing for the team. So I mean, I do feel bad. It was just a fan reaction, to it, and I'm glad he he's safe though. I'm glad he got checked out and he made a wise decision. And I know he wanted to win the championship. I mean, that's why he went. And not that he went, chose. Well, I guess he did choose to go to the Nets because we did buy him out. But he went there to go win the championship, and it kind of stinks that he's not going to get it this year because so if they win, he's not going to get a ring, right?
I don't think he's played enough games.
Okay, that was my other thing. But anyways, it kind of sucks that if he doesn't get it, but if he doesn't, I know he seems like a guy that has his priorities straight. He enjoys. He's having fun. He had fun doing it, and enjoyed every moment. So I wish him the best, and sorry for being a hater for a while.
Wow, that's tough for Nick. I'm just kidding.
Should we just give like a small moment of silence for Nick and his apology? We need to really let it settle in.
Yeah.
Just you know what? Look into the camera, Nick, and just give us your most heartfelt apology to LaMarcus Aldridge. We'll let you do that.
Too close. Back it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Okay.
look like you're trying to kiss him, man. What the hell, dude?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
I felt that.
That hit me right where I live, Nick.
Right. Yeah.
Right where I live.
right in the fields. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of with Nick as well. I mean, being a Spurs fan, I also harsh on LaMarcus as well. But I just wanted. I don't know. I always just felt he could do more. Like, kind of what you were saying, like what we're paying you. But like Nam said, we don't know what these players go through, like day in and day out. And even like reading that statement when he's thanking the teams he's played with, and then he goes to Brooklyn, thank you for wanting me for me and to play my game. And I feel like that was always his struggle in San Antonio. Like he still wanted to play his way, but he's in this system. And not that he's wrong with that. I mean, we can probably go back and forth on that. But yeah, you never know what these guys are dealing with. And he's been dealing with this for a while. I wish him nothing but the best. I even like part of me, he's still a Spur or was a Spur. Like nothing. I would have loved to see him get a championship, a ring. Like that would have made me happy. But it is sad that he's not going to be able to. Because I know going to Brooklyn, if I was going to Brooklyn and I'm LaMarcus Aldridge, I'm thinking, man, this is my year. Like let's go all out and let's win this. Let's win the chip. And for something like this to happen, it's got to be hard for him. So he's got his priorities straight. Life is too short, and so he can still go enjoy it, and not put himself at risk. And I'm sure he's going to miss the game of basketball, and I'm hopefully we'll still hear from him, after all this. But yeah, I'll just close with that. Shout out to LaMarcus, and be well, and wish you the best, man. Wish you the best if you hear this. All right, so moving on. we'll go quicker with some of these, but Dwayne Wade purchases ownership stake in the Utah Jazz. I'm gonna move it over here to Nam because I don't know a whole lot about, like, I saw the news about this, but Nam knows a little bit more, just like as far as from another team standpoint. So Nam, I'll let you share that. Go for it.
Yeah, no problem. This exciting news that you get a former NBA player actually getting a little bit of that ownership as part with the team. And of course, I think everybody's first reaction is like, why not Miami?
Yeah.
Why you gotta go to Utah? But the Miami president has come out, or the owner, I'm sorry, not the president, not Pat Riley. But the owner has already come out and said that basically they had talks with Dwayne Wade at the time about having part ownership with the Heat, but at that time he wasn't in the right spot in his time in his life that he wanted to go ahead and pursue that. More or less, it was the Heat saving face, because I'm pretty sure the Heat fans are like, "What the hell?"
Oh yeah.
But I mean, Utah's an interesting place for him because I think it would be good for him too. Because as far as I know, he's also a mentor to Donovan Mitchell. So I mean, you get that kind of close relationship. It's better than having players not know who Alex Rodriguez is taking over Minnesota. There. At least they know who Dwayne Wade is. So I think Utah is going to be an interesting place. And I forgot that Shaq actually has part ownership of Sacramento too.
Yep. So let me ask you this: as far as like ownership goes, what does that mean? Can someone break that down for me? Like, what type of, if any, say in things do they have? Can anyone answer that? Or
I think this just varies on the owner, like how much
Yeah.
control they want, and then how much they give to the GM. You know,
Yeah.
you have like a Jerry Jones owner who like wants to control every little aspect
Mhm.
of everything, and then
We see
you
how
know,
well
when the
that's
head
going.
coach, yeah, you see the head coach take credit, you know, then he gets all mad and fires that head coach. No, yeah, I think it all comes down to what the owners feel like. I mean, they ultimately have every say in what happens with the team, but some people feel like they know more than what their actual coaches or GMs that they bring into, which is pretty sad, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, you know, on the players owning a team, I think they understand that, like, hey, we're the owners. I mean, you would hope that they would understand that relationship that's there. Like the owner's there to enjoy the game, put stuff together, make some money, and then hire the best people, you know, the people that you feel is the best to come and coach your team. And I think players probably understand that more than others, and maybe businessmen, but like hardcore fan guys that want to come in like a Jerry Jones and thinks that they know more about the sport than the real people, then you get problems. But that's what I think.
Yeah, I think
Oh, no, go
there's.
for it.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I think
no,
there's
go.
a part of since they played the game before. I mean, kind of like I think whoever the actual owner is, and the main owner, whoever has the majority ownership, probably will have to listen. I mean, what is there not to say about listening to Michael Jordan, the greatest player that's played basketball for in the NBA? Why wouldn't you listen to those guys? So I think they have as much say as like the majority owner would be, and I would imagine it'd be kind of like stocks, where like if you have more shares in it, then you have more say in it. But if you don't know basketball, then why are you really saying too much into it?
Mhm.
Besides like Mark Cuban, who is a lifelong fan.
Mhm.
So I'd imagine they're going to listen to Wade and kind of hear him out. But then again, look at how Jordan's been doing in Charlotte. But still, but I think it's based on that. I mean, you listen to experience.
Okay. Yeah, Stone, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I know. I was just sort of going to piggyback on Nam and Nick. I think that's one. The fan mentality of why not Miami. You get it, right? It's you spend almost your entire career in Miami. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna hop on with any team, why not this one? But I agree with you guys in a sense that as a player moving into a management role, they bring a lot more than just management, like managing something to a team, because they've done it themselves. It would be like some guy at a random job coming into your place of work, being promoted to a higher position than you, who's never done it. Like, why wouldn't your superiors want you to take that position? You know the job, you've done it, you've worked it, you understand how it works. And I think players that want to step into that kind of role, I think that's good. Mostly because I feel like when the time comes for them to retire, it's got to be hard to just step away from the game and not be involved with it at all. And so if it's being a part owner of a team, or coaching on a team, or whatever you can for a team, why wouldn't you take any kind of shot with those guys? Like, they know what they're talking about. They've done it. They've spent a good portion of their life doing it. Like those, and I'm not going to say that they're these all-knowing gurus, but the fact that they have the experience and the time in definitely lends them a lot of credibility. Like Nick said with Jerry Jones, he played college football, high school football, like that's it, great. But your position as a general manager for you should just be business side only and not try and be everything. You're not a coach. You didn't play football at this level. You don't know what's going on. And like I said, I just think that guys that have played the game that want to step into that role, those are the guys you kind of want to listen to, and let them have a voice and stuff like that, because they know they've done it before.
Yeah. Good points. Well, we wish you all the best. Dwayne Wade, good luck in your a new role, and we're excited to see how the Jazz do. The Jazz are looking good right now, so as far as basketball goes, that's exciting. So yeah. Moving on, we're gonna talk about the San Antonio Spurs. They get fined again, $25,000 for violating the league's player resting policy again. By resting 3 players in the same road game. Nick, you want to talk about this, man?
Yeah, it's it's kind of stupid because could they just say, oh, he has hamstring tightness and we're just gonna send him that time? I mean, I don't know why the Spurs haven't learned a lesson. Just said that, like, let's just put it on the report. Oh, he has hamstring issues. Something's his calf is giving him pain. Don't put rest on there. Like that's what I don't know.
I think that's part of it though. Like,
I think this was so
they
stupid
know
about
what they're
the NBA.
doing. It's like, no, we're just gonna do it in spite of.
It's really, they're trying to make a statement with it because
Yeah.
This year has been just jam packed with games, and they're trying to get everything in there, and NBA's got to make their money. And I understand that they're trying to make a statement. And there's other teams too that I believe Toronto was just fined as well. But at the same time, it's like, I guess it's not that big of a deal. I guess they're not hurting that much where they can make those statements and take the fine. So, to each their own. I mean, they know that all they have to do is put soreness in calf or something stupid and around it. And I'm not against resting players, especially with our injury issues and the roster that has had to be switched up. And I think some games we only had like 7 players suiting up and playing because of COVID. I mean, so players are getting tired. I mean, you see the injuries skyrocketing. And like my fantasy league, I've had to make all kinds of turnarounds, and finally, good news is LaMelo Ball just got reactivated, so I picked him up.
Nice.
But no, I mean, so there's injuries happening, and it's just you're dumb if you're gonna put your star players to the ringer for regular season games when all it comes down to in the NBA is making the playoffs. That's where the season really starts. For me, that's how the Spurs have understood it, and that's how they've done it. Hey, let's just do enough to get into the playoffs. Then when we get into the playoffs, let's play. But so I think it's just, I don't know. The NBA is trying to fix it, but it's just so stupid because all teams have to do is just put a little hamstring issue, and then they don't even get fined. So I think there's a bigger issue than what with the players in the league than what's being let on.
So is the price of this, because this is $25,000. I saw they got fined, I want to say it was like $250,000 back when they rested Duncan, Ginobili, Parker in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So why was that so much back then? And is it like the caliber of player, or like is that what it is?
It probably is.
Because I'm like, $25,000 might be like a slap on the wrist to this. I don't know. I mean, for us, $25,000, like, I'll take that right now, please. But to them as an organization, it might just be, oh, that's it. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Whatever. We'll take it. But I mean, everything you just said, Nick, I'm kind of in agreement with you. What about you, Nam? You got any words on this?
Oh no, I mean, basically, kind of what you said is like you guys are the ones that started load management, anyways, as it is. But what makes me laugh about this is that the Thunder completely shut down Al Horford for the season, and he's healthy. So
Yeah.
I don't even understand what the fining is all about. I mean, like, legitimately, we shut out a former All-Star player for like the entire season, like healthy scratch, and like there's nothing going on. Like, It's like maybe we suck so bad that they're just like whatever.
And I get the worry is when you're resting players, but they still do it on back to back. So the worry is like fans who are actually like attending don't get to see all the best players.
Mhm.
But like for this group of guys who sat out, I mean, these were like, I don't know. They're not like everyone goes to like, oh yeah, I want to see Jakob Pertl play. It's just like I understand like the overall thing and what's going on. And again, I feel like taking off back-to-back games would fix a lot of this. But yeah. What about y'all? Did you go yet, Stone? Did you?
No, I mean, you guys pretty much covered the whole thing. But I'm kind of in agreement with you though, where like, I think you eliminate a lot of the resting players a lot if you eliminate a lot of these back-to-backs, because then what's the excuse, honestly? Like,
yeah, and at that point, if the Spurs rest a player, it's like, guys, you could have played or something. Then I might have a different mindset about that. But yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it to a certain point about wanting to rest your guys maybe for multiple days, especially for games that maybe you feel you're just not really worth having your best guys out if you can give them some time. But I mean, the NBA put those rules in place for a reason, and it doesn't matter the caliber of player. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and rest these guys again, knowing full well that the NBA is like, nah, bro, like these dudes have already been rested. Like, you're not just gonna do it again and think no one's gonna notice. So it's dumb. I think it's stupid that a team can't rest their players however they want. That being said, if they got rid of back-to-backs, like you said, Robus, I think it would eliminate a lot of those problems.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it as well. I think Nick had mentioned it earlier, though. Like, if your team's been playing 72 games this season, and you have one team that's rested an all-star player, and they're going in fresh to the playoffs, like, that kind of is an advantage because they haven't taken that beating for the whole season. Mm-hmm. And then when they're ready for, like, I can see that argument for sure. So I don't know how they fix it, but
get rid of back-to-backs.
I mean, that's one thing, but I don't. Especially the Spurs. I think the Spurs, because they got older guys, like they'll find a way to, his pinky toe is hurt or something like that.
They've got the Rona.
Like Nick said, all they had to say was like soreness or something. Like,
right.
And they just didn't. So it is what it is. Big shout out to Kage who's in the chat. We see you there, Kage. Thanks for hanging out. All right, I'm just gonna say this one, and we might move on to the next one here. But the next one, this would be big for Shadow if she was here. Celtics sign Jabari Parker. So they waive center Moe Wagner in a corresponding roster move. Now, didn't they just get Moe Wagner recently, like with the trade deadline?
I feel like they did.
So I'm just wondering, like, if he just wasn't fitting, what they got going on there, or what. Jabari Parker, who was he playing? Who was he with?
So Jabari Parker was with the Kings, first drafted by Milwaukee, and then got traded to Atlanta, released in Atlanta, went to the Kings, was playing for the Kings for a little bit, and now is playing for Boston.
He's been moved around a lot because I'm like picturing him in like all these different jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, do you think he's gonna help the Celtics and all? Do you see Jabari Parker helping?
Jabari Parker is one of those guys, kind of like when he first came out of college. I think everyone was saying that him and Andrew Wiggins were like a guaranteed superstars when they got to the league, and I'm not gonna sit there and throw a bust label on him or anything like that, just because Andrew Wiggins is still he's I think Andrew Wiggins himself is in the right team. He's doing really well for Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, who knows? But I think Shadow would probably be the perfect person to talk about.
Yeah.
So
Jabari
it's funny
Parker
you say that because I literally just texted her.
Does
Where
So,
you at, Shadow?
respond?
Yeah, I asked her how we feeling about picking up Parker and waiving Mo Williams, and she said, and I quote, "I liked Mo, but I think Parker fits into our play style a little bit better."
Okay.
So
Which is
well, there you
interesting.
go.
It's interesting because I'd imagine Parker's been playing power forward lately, so he's been playing the 5. Or not the 5, the 4.
The 4.
So I wonder if that's just kind of like one of those pickups where they were just replacing losing Thice, and just getting another person to kind of
Yeah.
be similar.
I will say compared to Tice, Jabari probably can shoot the ball a little bit better. But that's all I can really say on the matter, like just talking about it. So all right, well let's move on to this one because I think we'll have some stuff to say here. So Curry, he poured in 53 points to pass Wilt Chamberlain as the Golden State Warriors all-time scoring leader. That's huge. Curry, this guy's been playing out of his mind lately. Like
he's kind of had
back
to though, right?
I mean, he kind of had. So it's interesting because he started playing this way when James Wiseman went out. So the rookie Wiseman, who I believe I had on a highlight play, which we need to bring that back. Sorry, Nick. But Wiseman, the rookie, and a lot of it, and they kind of talked about, was they wanted to give Wiseman some reps and they wanted him to play. And so that kind of took away from what Steph Curry does a little bit. And there's been some numbers as well, like when Wiseman is off the court, how much better like Curry is. And so now that Wiseman is injured, Steph Curry's like, all right, this is my team now, let's go. And he has just been playing out of his mind. And I love to see it because Steph Curry, he's like, if I was, good enough to be in the NBA, I feel like I would be a Steph Curry because I'm small, but I could shoot the ball, not like Steph Curry. But I feel like if I was that good, that would be me, just because my stature, my short stature. But man, he just watching him shoot and move around, because everyone talks about his shooting. He can shoot for anywhere on the floor, but sometimes like getting those shots, moving behind screens, like getting away from a defender, like he moves very well without the ball, and he's so good, and he's just fun to watch. He's great TV. And so anyone want to talk about Curry? Have y'all been seeing what he's been doing lately, or y'all got any thoughts? Jump in.
Was that he's got like in the last like 10 games, he's got like however many threes, and he's just insane. I love Steph Curry.
I think I just saw ESPN just popped up with something that I think said he has, it was like 40 points, another 40-point game. So it's like his 11th in a row, something like that.
Yeah,
like he's
something like that.
He's like I've said it before. He is literally a cheat code.
Yeah,
like it's insane to watch that dude play, and every time, it's just the shots he takes. In your mind, you're just thinking, "There's no way," and it goes in, and it's the effortlessness that it looks like he's shooting with.
Yes,
effortless, please.
However, look, you can call it whatever you want. It is literal magic, is what it is, because I've seen a lot. I've seen him take a lot of shots, and every single time I've just been like, "There's no way." 2 guys on him, just boom, and I'm just like, how he's smaller compared to some of the guys that are in front of him, and I'm just like, how does he continue to get these shots off? You know what I mean? Like it is mind blowing just how good he is shooting the ball. And it's incredible to watch. He's gonna continue to set records and stuff. Like it's insane.
So I want to give y'all some stats because these are ridiculous. Also, Shadow Dragon, a welcome. Hope you're doing well. We talked about your Celtics, for as much as we could, because who watches them besides you. Just kidding. um, but so I want to read these stats because these are crazy. Kind of what Stone was saying there about ESPN posts and stuff. So I've seen some from different things on Twitter, and basketball Twitter is great, by the way. If y'all just want to browse, it's very good. But this one, threes made last week. Steph Curry 36. Cavaliers 35, Nuggets 34. This guy single-handedly is shooting more threes, made threes than teams. That's ridiculous. So that's one stat. Here's this one talks about his best games this season. He's had a 62-point game this season, 57-40. All of these he's shot above 50% from the 3-point line, which is ridiculous. This one right here, though, career games with 10 plus made 3-pointers. Ray Allen 1, Kevin Durant 0, Kobe Bryant 1, Kyrie Irving 0, Larry Bird 0, Peja Stojakovic 1, Reggie Miller 0. So again, career games with 10 plus made 3-pointers. Games with 10 plus made 3-pointers this week for Steph Curry's 3.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
So I go back to what I said before, like years ago, back when you remember when Steve Kerr, he had like a surgery or something, and he was out for a while, so the assistant coach was sort of like interim head coach for the Golden State Warriors, and I just remember thinking, like, what is he coaching? Like, seriously, what is he telling these guys? Stretch the floor, make sure, stay, pass the ball around. But if Clay and Steph are open, give them the ball.
Hey, they made Luke Walton look good.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, what do you?
I
was trying to remember who that was.
2 teams now, and he's not done anything.
I'm just saying, like,
Sacramento though, who does well?
Like Steph Curry is literally that guy that you're just like, yeah, just shoot whenever you want, man.
Exactly.
I mean,
I love that. Every generation has those great players, and he's just one of those. And I can't wait till like my son's older, and he's turns into, because people are gonna like Curry for generations. He's just one of those players. And my son is saying, "Hey, you remember watching Curry?" I'm like, yeah, I watched him. I didn't like it a lot of the time because he would play the Spurs, but you cannot deny his talent, and to me he's a great guy. He's always he has fun with everyone. But the thing that's sneaky good about Curry too, though, is his driving ability. I mean, I know he shoots those threes, but man, he is so quick.
He's
and
quick.
I like what Shadow said, and he's a cool dude. He is a very cool dude.
Very cool. So is his family, like his daughter,
watching him
like
at the
everything.
All-Star games. He is fun to watch.
Like you said too, like, and I'll let you go soon, but he can finish at the rim too.
Yeah.
Like for his size, he can still. Like he had a 3-point play on the Celtics. I don't know if you saw that, Shadow, or not, but, where he had the and one 3-point play, and he just like he got. Now I don't like when players do this, but he had the defender jump, and then he kind of went into him, but he threw it with his left, and it was like a hook shot, and it went in, and it was like. This guy, man. But all right, Stone, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
Well, I just had a question because I know we've talked about this and it's come up a few times, but like even now, like if you had to pick greatest shooter of all time, like who's your greatest shooter? Because I swear, man, it's hard to say that it's not Steph. Like
who's you?
For me?
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm probably.
Oh, you're saying it is Steph.
Yeah, I'm finding it harder and harder to not believe that it's Steph Curry. And you joke and you say Kevin Durant, and here's the thing: it probably should be. That dude can shoot over anyone.
Yeah.
But Steph Curry,
it's effortless.
Yeah. It just he makes it. Steph is. He's just a better shooter. And if I had to say of all time, I gotta go with Steph at this point. Like it's insane to watch that dude shoot.
There's so many arguments because like growing up with like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller, and like how clutch they were too is like a big factor in it. but like you said, Kevin Durant, he can shoot over the top of people, and he's a great shooter, but you don't see him shooting from the distance that Curry and now Dame are shooting from. Like,
Right.
and their
those
confidence in shooting those are like, oh yeah, I'm open.
Yeah.
It's going in.
Yeah,
Right.
PG's like, that's a bad shot, and Dame's like, no, it's
Right.
not.
16 of my 20 are going in. So
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that it's funny you mentioned the Dame PG shot, because the almost identical shot was taken on the opposite side of the floor, and it was Steph Curry, and was it Anthony Morrow or was it Robertson? Someone was supposed to be was on him, but played back because he was literally just 2 or 3 steps past the half court line, and Steph just threw it in the air, like last minute shot, boom, went in, and it's just like, you can't even be mad at the guy defending him, because what do you do? Like, what do you do?
That's what's so difficult to guard him, and that's why he can't get to the rim a lot of the times.
Yeah.
He's so dangerous shooting from the outside.
Yeah.
That
If you try and press him, he's so fast that he could get around you, and then if it's not an easy 2 points, you're fouling him, and he's going to the free throw line, which is a gimme anyway. Like, it's tough, man.
In theory, it's a gimme.
Yeah. Shadow didn't appreciate some of my I'm sorry, Shadow. I love you. Good job last week. All right. Well, that's a good topic, because that might have to be one as well, as far as maybe the greatest shooter, because that could be an interesting conversation. Because I know Larry Bird also has to be in the mix. I know Nam had kind of been. I don't know. I think you had mentioned like watching or going back and watching some of Larry Bird and being like, okay, this guy. He had it.
I was gonna say, Larry, just because Larry Legend did things that were just that you could only wish could happen in the NBA, right? And just be like, you know what? I'm bored. Gonna shoot everything left-handed and just go out there and do it, and then make everything too while you're at it. It's just like it's like hearing those stories that you're just like, all right, so he's phenomenal. But I mean, like Reggie Miller, like, even you may not say he's like the greatest shooter, he's the most clutch shooter there is out there.
Yeah.
Like, if there was one person I definitely wanted to take the last shot, he would be my guy.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Reggie. So
yeah, no, that's why they say it's Miller time, man. Dame took that from him. It's Dame time. I'm sorry, Miller time was first, man.
That's true though. You're not wrong.
I tell you what, and I'll just throw one last piece on this. I tell you what, Steph Curry should be the #1 most hated player in the NBA. And the reason I say this is because he alone has helped change the game so much from what we were used to in the 90s to what it is currently. You should absolutely hate him for it. And also 2K, he's changed 2K for what it is too as well. But
that I hate him for.
Yeah, but he's such a likable guy that, to overcome that, for people to still like him for just how amazing he is as a person and also as a player, even changing the game that we loved into something that we may not like as much compared to what it was before.
Yeah,
you got to give a lot of kudos to him for that.
Oh yeah, and he's taking advantage because I wouldn't say taking advantage. Well, I guess a little bit, because the game's changed so much as far as fouling. You can't do as much as you could back in the 90s or whatnot. So he does have room to be open like that. So there's going to be arguments on that, but just looking at him, like, he's just smooth with it. Like, when it comes to shooting, like, it's a joy to watch. All right, well, moving on from. I like how this is rapid fire news, and that was not rapid fire.
That wasn't rapid fire.
My apologies. But we're moving on to the last segment here, and this is gonna. I'll let Nam take it away here. So Nam, Barbershop Talk. All right, let's hear it. Let's open this up, and we're gonna talk about it. Oh, look at this! I love it. All right, take it away.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to the Barbershop. Why don't you come on in? First, before you walk in here, you got to let me know who you guys think the GOAT is. Because I mean, if you say it's LeBron, I need you to turn around and just leave right now. In fact, if you in the chat here, you ain't allowed in my barbershop. Get out here. No, but we here to just kind of talk fun and just kind of see what our opinions are. Nothing, no statistics or no serious talk here. So let's just have fun with this, guys. So the MVP race that's currently going on, we got 1 month left in the NBA season before we get into the play-ins. And right now, the Kia MVP race has, quote, listed their 5 players currently this week. Nikola Jokic at number 1, 26 points per game, 10 to 11 rebounds, and 8.8 assists a game, which he's my pick to win the MVP. Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers ranked number 2 this week with 29.8 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Luka Magic is ranked number 3 at 28.6 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, 8.6 assists. And then Giannis, the 2-time reigning current MVP, at 28.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists a game. So just wanted to kind of get y'all's opinion, man. Is this kind of where it's correct, or do you guys think people are getting, overlooked here, or would you guys have it in a different order? What are you guys feeling here?
I mean, I think the list is fine as far as who's in it.
Sorry. Shadow says she's the MVP. I don't think. Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
All right.
My bad.
No. I think the list is right. I just, I think the Joel Jokic, there's an argument to be made. You could flip him, and you would still be right. So how would you say? How much time do we have left till what? Like,
yeah, 1 month.
April. So about a month. There's still plenty of time with the amount of games left that could very easily switch. It's tough. We all sort of have. We've talked about this before about our expectations and stuff from Giannis, and I mean he's a good player. I don't see him. I don't see it happening for him. Not this year. And I only say that because there's only, and this is just my opinion. This is just my thoughts. It's really hard to keep giving MVP to a guy whose just ceiling is second round, third. You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's just my opinion. But like, and it does bug me a little that the MVP is only a regular season award. I get it. But it's sort of irritating that it's like you give MVP to a guy who plateaus somewhere in the playoffs and then that's it. Like, great, you're the most valuable player to your team to get you to midway through the playoffs. Fantastic. I'm glad that's the goal. It's kind of annoying, but as far as the MVP list that you have, and I know, Nam, you've got Jokic as your pick. I feel like, depending on how this next month goes and how the Sixers, even though they look like they've been struggling here after here a little recently, I still think Embiid could flip that. I think that he could slide into that one spot if they pick up their play and start getting back to how they were like earlier in the season.
So I'll say this, like, there's been a lot of discussion, kind of like what you're saying, Stone, with Jokic and Embiid, and it comes down for a lot of the votes in this talk, in this MVP talk, is how many games they played. And unfortunately these are things that happen in the NBA. Unfortunately for Embiid, he's played less games than Jokic, and that's where I was listening to I was listening to a pod with like Brian Windhorst and the Windhorst in the Hoop Collective, and man, they were going back and forth on this because some of the guys on that pod have a say on who wins it, and they're all picking Jokic, and Brian Windhorst was trying to talk about Joel Embiid, and they were going back and forth on this. But a lot of what it comes down to is he just played less games, and they feel like, I guess for Jokic, he's putting up these incredible numbers, and he's been playing every game. Even recently with Jamal Murray, who got injured the first game they played with him injured, Jokic took over. They won that game, and so unfortunately, Embiid, and that's the problem. Embiid hasn't missed like a lot of games compared to, like, I know LeBron James was high on the MVP list this year, and then he got injured and he's moved down. I know I saw that list too, Nam. He's I forgot where he is, but he moved down. But he was leading for a while above Jokic and Embiid before he got injured. So unfortunately, that's just what it comes down to in these type of polls is who's played. But I mean, I'm in agreement with you. Those could switch because Embiid's been having such a phenomenal year. And he hasn't missed like too much, but I feel like that's kind of what puts him at number 2 here. But I'll let Nick go ahead and talk as well. Go for it, dude.
I like Joel Embiid, but I understand, why he's at number 2, and that's simply because what you just said, games played. I like the list. I don't have any issues with it, and
who would you pick?
Me,
Joel Embiid?
It's really a toss-up between those two.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, Jokic, I like him as a player too. I mean, looking at the stat lines of what they're averaging, and I mean, he's got him beat. Jokic got him beat in assists, and Jokic. If Jokic wasn't on that team, they wouldn't be anything. Jamal Murray, I know he's hurt now, but even when he was in, he wasn't consistent enough to carry the team.
Yeah, if the roles were flipped and Jokic was injured, I feel like that's like a...
Oh, yeah, they'd be done.
Man. Yeah.
They'd be done, and they wouldn't even have a chance. And so that's why I would say I like the MVP going to Jokic, even though, like Stone said, they may not go deep in the playoffs, but that's not what the MVP is about. The MVP is about the regular season MVP, not the playoffs. And so even though they may not go deep, he's still consistent, playing better than any of the players, and that's why I think he should get MVP.
So with the MVP talk, you guys are basically kind of going with who's the best player, even though it says the most valuable player, right? So do you guys, you guys can clarify your actual position on that. So feel free, but there isn't anybody else that you guys would add on the list or adjust the list or in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, now, and injuries do play a part of it for me. Like, I know starting out, Kevin Durant was on my list. Coming from the injury that he had and how he was playing, like, was phenomenal to me. But he's been injured, and so that kind of takes him out of the running. As far as, like, I know there's like a top 5 here. This is the most valuable player, and so, like, I don't really care who's in the top 10. I care about who's gonna win it, and that's why for me it's Jokic and Embiid. Everyone else is just behind them, so I don't really.
Yeah.
Third place, cool, but these are the 2 guys for me at least.
One guy I do like that's not on this list is Jimmy Butler. If he wasn't on the Heat, I don't know where they would be at. So that's one guy that I think is a little sometimes overlooked, but I do like the list. I mean, I agree with it.
Okay.
I will say too before you go, Stone.
No, you're fine.
Well, actually, I'll let you go and then I'll say.
Well, I was just gonna, point out that, like, I had, was talking about the fact that I'm not a fan of just like most valuable player just being a regular season award, because there's still, you know, I feel like a team, just because they don't make the playoffs, doesn't diminish maybe what one player has done the entire 82 game season. And the only reason I say this, ironically enough, was that the season that Russell Westbrook was carrying OKC when Kevin Durant went out for an injury, and he was literally carrying OKC, and they were one game away from the playoffs, one game, and lost to a ridiculous 3-point shot from Anthony Davis, like in the closing minutes. And, you know, they were talking about, okay, you know, MVP, the MVP. And I was just like, Russ is the MVP. He has to be, because they had no KD, and they pretty much, I mean, they were there. They were right in the playoffs. And, you know, that whole conversation came up. Well, it's like, well, they didn't make it to the playoffs, so he's not in the running. And I just remember thinking, that's BS. Like, most valuable player. You can't tell me that he wasn't the most valuable player of any team, you know, for his team then. And so, you know, I understand the rules. I get it. But that little aspect to me just kind of irritates me, because there could be a lot of guys that are, in my opinion, MVP candidates because of the things they're doing. If it, like, you know, Nick said, if Jimmy Butler wasn't playing for Miami, like, where would that team be right now? Like, hypothetically, where would they be? And that's not to say I think Jimmy Butler deserves MVP or anything like that, but like, that clearly shows he is like a valuable asset to that team. And I feel like, you know, this idea of, well, they didn't make the playoffs, so it's kind of pushed to the side. It's always kind of been a bummer for me, because those guys, it's like, you can visibly see it through the entire season. You're like, okay, they don't have that guy. This team is done. But, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, you just kind of got to look at the teams that make it to the playoffs and sort of just kind of make your pick. Then, all right, this is who it is.
All right, Robles. We were gonna have to skip the last segment. We'll push that for another one.
Oh,
we're gonna stick on this one.
I had a feeling. Yeah. Well, let's just go who you think should get it. Let's just say who the one person you think. I wanted to share this because I know Jokic he's everything Shadow has said in the comments here, like smart basketball plays for a big man, gorgeous footwork. And the thing, and this is where it gets tough for me, because the thing with Jokic is offensively, mastermind, great. Defensively, I feel like that's where Joel Embiid, he's doing the offense, but he's also a great defender. Like, he's playing both sides of the court. So that's why, even though like missing those games, for me personally, I love players who do both, who are good offensive and defense.
Yeah, both sides of the ball for sure.
And I think that's, for me, where Jokic or where Embiid kind of overtakes that. But that's, if I'm gonna pick one this season, man, that's so tough between these two. Also, a center hasn't won, I think, like since Shaq, the MVP. So that's kind of crazy. So I hope one of these guys wins it. But if y'all got a choice, go. I'm gonna think about this for a few seconds.
Yeah, I want you guys to sit here and think about it for a little bit before we actually go. We'll end it by saying who we think is going to be our MVP. But I do have.
I was talking about Embiid, Shadow. My bad. I thought about okay.
Oh, we're not talking about Jokic. What?
I thought she was talking about Jokic.
So just to let y'all know, the last person who's won an MVP that's missed 20 games or more is Bill Walton with the Portland Trailblazers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while since anyone's won the award, but I'm going to do my best impression here. Here we go. Hey guys, this is Shaq here. I just wanted to let you know I love your game, but you ain't got it. So each one of you guys, all four of you guys, or all three, sorry, including whoever, has said that this particular person, they said that what Shaq said to him was out of line, but yet not one of you guys have talked about him as an MVP candidate, and neither has the NBA, really. And I'm talking about the person who is leading the best team in the NBA currently at 42-15, all in which all of us wouldn't be like, really? They're number one? The disrespect that Utah Jazz, Donovan the Spider Mitchell has been getting is insane. How is he not in the top 5 or even in the conversation as the best player in the league right now? Because you're not going to let Gobert lead that team. I mean, let's be serious. We chose him last. We chose him last in the All-Star pick because we knew all the scoring that he'll get is when he rebounds and dunks the ball.
Yep.
So why is Spider Mitchell not on this list, guys? Why do you guys disrespect him more than Shaq did?
So you're saying disrespect. I came out the bat and said I don't care about these top 5 or top 10.
Yeah.
Like Donovan Mitchell is in the top 10, I think, from that list. But
Okay.
I'm not giving praise to Luka, Giannis. I'm not giving praise to any of those guys. Like,
So, but why
Yes.
isn't he number one for being the best team in the league right now, leading the best team in the league? Why isn't he gonna win?
Well,
That's the question.
I think it's his. I mean, well, they're still beating him in points per game, and I mean, all stats, all apart. But and again, the Jazz, I mean, are more of a team game, and unfortunately, to people that don't watch Utah, I mean, the San Antonio Spurs had to deal with this too, even though Tim Duncan did win MVPs, but. We had to deal with this as well, is that we just don't get the publicity or the media that these other teams do, and that's what sucks about playing for a small market, and so the name's not out there. But I will say though that this season his numbers are lower than Embiid's and Jokic, and so that's an argument that you can put for why Donovan's not on the top of the list there, because stat wise he's just not on there. I mean, I love the guy, I'm not hating on him, but that's the fact.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the stats you have for the top 5 players on this list right now, and you have Damian Lillard's number 5 with his stats being 28, 4, and 7, right? And then you look at Donovan's, who's 26, 4, and 5. Like there might be you might make an argument for a top 10 list if he might. I'm not sure how far that list could potentially go, but if you want to say that, that's one thing. But it's like Robles said, outside of the top 2 currently, I mean, if you want to make an argument that you think anyone below, like anyone 3 and under, has a chance to get to the number 1 spot, then I mean, go for it. I'm kind of with Robles on this. I think with a month left and number 1 and number 2 being Jokic and Embiid, everyone else sort of just falls out. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying as far as like the Jazz being the best team in the league right now, and I think Nick was sort of right in saying that that truly is like a team ball type scenario where it's not Donovan Mitchell isn't the only person carrying that team on his shoulders, right? It's it's not just him. And
are you sure?
I mean,
can you name 3 other players on that team?
What I'm saying is if there's a reason why that people were criticizing him, right? Or let me ask you this: if you disagree with the criticism of Donovan Mitchell, then that's one thing. But if you agree with it, like if you agree with what Shaq was saying, then there's a reason for it. And I'm not saying he's the worst player on the team. I'm not saying he's the second best player on the team. What I'm saying is they're team oriented, and you can give credit where credit is due. But if you're going to agree with Shaq's criticism on Donovan Mitchell earlier in the season, then that kind of has to play a part a little bit when you look at their stats too. Like his stats are just barely under Damian Lillard's, who's at 5. So is your argument that he should just be on the list, period, or that he should be higher?
So it's what I'm saying is it's kind of like what we talked about before. The most valuable player, a person who is valued in their team. LeBron James didn't have the best numbers, and yet he was also number one He's been number one in a lot of people's pick for MVP as well.
Those are LeBron stands. Come on.
But you're also agreeing with Shaq too, in a sense, not with the Donovan Mitchell thing, but you agree with Shaq that Steve Nash is the sympathy MVP when he won the 2 MVPs in a row because Shaq was the more dominant player, the best player. So it's just I'm just messing with you guys because don't get me wrong, I'll add some more, but I mean it's fundamentally speaking, the question is value and then the best team currently.
Listen, I don't appreciate you calling not just one of us, all 3 of us out for disrespecting Donovan. You know who's disrespecting him? The NBA, because I thought he was on the top 10 list.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. You know who is? Rudy Gobert. That is disrespectful.
Is he really? Oh my
yes.
God. That's horrible.
Look, Rudy Gobert caps it out at number 10. And then here's the kicker. And 5 more. Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker. So if anyone's disrespecting him, good sir, it is
everyone.
NBA.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, I know there's been discussion, because LeBron should have won it in some people's eyes for so many years, and if you're just talking about most valuable player. So it's
except 2008.
I know there's okay, well
sorry. Derrick Rose is the most valuable player. It don't matter. Don't matter.
That's true.
LeBron stands can suck it.
There's been a lot of talk still have the most valuable player because that's going to be your LeBron James or whatever, those players. But then also having a different, I forget what they call it. I'm blanking right now. But listen,
a different measure or a
different measure
award.
of just the season.
Yeah.
Compared to a most valuable player who's going to be an all-star of some sort.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some people have trouble separating this season compared to the best player on the team. And I think that's where these discussions come out of a lot of just people thinking a little bit differently of most valuable player. They're not thinking about that season really. And I mean, that's what I'm thinking about is just this season. So
I'm just, and this is more just a question for you now, just because I'm curious. Of these top 5 players, right? Is there any one of them? Because you were saying that Donovan Mitchell is the most valuable player on his team, and they're also the best team currently, right? Is there any one of those top 5 that you think Donovan Mitchell that you would swap Donovan Mitchell for or swap out for?
Yeah, I mean there is. I mean to credit guys, the reason why I brought this up, and I want to bring up a couple more here, is because I also overlooked Donovan Mitchell, but it's a fair point though, because I mean he is the best player on the best team, which we never would have given them any second thought on being the best team whatsoever. In the fact that you're not even having him in the conversation, just the conversation of being the best player, I would have him replace either Giannis and or Luka, because Luka and the Dallas Mavericks are going to be in the play-in tournament, and at the very beginning of the year they were barely even in a spot where they could have been in the playoffs at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't get me wrong, he has done magnificent, but what's the argument why Westbrook isn't in this conversation either? Because he's averaging a triple-double right now.
Yeah, but we've seen that, all right.
But I'm saying but I mean I agree, we've seen it. But if he was playing for Brooklyn and was doing the same thing, same numbers as Harden, because Harden,
that's true though, because Harden literally won an MVP because of his. Didn't he have a triple double season?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like if
that
he's
was
playing for the Nets, is it different?
Well, but so what I'm saying is that season that Harden won MVP, Did they when did they go out in the playoffs? Second or third round, something like that.
That was the first round, right? They
Was
always
it
go
the
out
first?
round. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to
Probably
say
second or third round.
yeah, second or third round, and Harden didn't. It was like Harden didn't really show up for a few of those games, especially the crucial ones, and that was your MVP. And so it's like triple doubles and all that is a good thing. I guess it is what it is. And you're right. If Russell played for Brooklyn and Brooklyn Brooklyn got to the playoffs and Russell, averaged a triple double like he has been known to, 100% he would win MVP. 100%, because that's what people would look at. They would go, and that's the thing. Like, even if it was Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant and James Harden playing for Brooklyn, you've got three guys on that team that you could consider are valuable to that team. And if Russell got, threw out triple doubles again and they got to the playoffs, Russell still wins, will more than likely win MVP. And he's clearly, he has the best stats, but he's not the most valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a weird dynamic in that sense. But like right now, I see your argument for Donovan Mitchell, but with just looking at the top five, I was just curious to see, like, would there be, anyone you'd swap them out for that you don't think maybe too high or something.
Here's why Westbrook got that, because they knew he would never make it to the finals and he'd never get that finals MVP. So this year, Donovan Mitchell, the Utah Jazz, go into the finals. He's going to get that finals MVP and laugh in Shaq's face. And
could
to
you
all
imagine?
You haters who have not put him on this list, okay?
Could you imagine though, like the Jazz?
That would be actually pretty cool.
The Jazz get to the finals and win, and then like the first thing out of Donovan Mitchell's mouth is,
"What now?
In your face, Shaq," or something like that. It'll just like, that'd be nuts,
dude. I would love that.
Yeah, that would actually be an interesting move.
I would really love that.
So I'll throw one last person out there, and then we can, you guys can say what you want to say. So he's also the best player right now, and probably the most valuable player in this league, in my opinion. He is the leader of the 40-16 Phoenix Suns. And I'm not talking about Devin Booker. Chris Paul. And here, I want to give you guys an interesting. Let me give you guys an interesting stat before we talk about his effect on teams just in general. So for the LA Clippers, before Chris Paul, they were 32-50 before Chris Paul. Whenever he joined them, they were 40-26. With the Houston Rockets, before him, they were 55-27. So pretty good record still. But when he joined them, they were 64-17. With the OKC Thunder, before OKC, we were 49-33. When we joined and he joined, of course, it was the pandemic season and everything else. 44-28, still made the playoffs without Russ, without PG. And with the Phoenix Suns, who were 34-39 before last year, he joins them and they are 40-16. 40-16. That's 20 semi losses killed. Basically 20 semi losses or wins, basically, for just this one player. So yes, I get his numbers aren't the same, but if you want to make an argument for someone that isn't just numbers, would he not be considered somebody that is probably one of the most valuable players in this league and not deserve it for what he's doing right now in Phoenix?
See, that's tough for me, because most valuable player skill-wise, I wouldn't put Chris Paul up there. Leadership-wise and bringing a team together, yes, he's one of the best. But man, that's tough.
I agree with you, John, about that, about the leadership. He is a leader, as obvious. But yeah, skill-wise, I wouldn't put him as the top. But he definitely has helped the Suns. And I knew he was gonna boost them. They were already getting a boost though in the playoffs last year, and they went on that.
They didn't make the playoffs,
not the playoffs, but the run that they made. What did they go undefeated in the bubble?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and so Chris Paul was just gonna help them. and I don't think they would be the same team. I think they would still have a winning record, or be at least in the 5, 6, or 7, 5, 6, 7, or 8 seed without him. What are they sitting at, number 2 right now?
They're number 2 in the league,
Yeah,
but number 2 in the West.
And so I would still see them at like 5, 6, 7, or 8 in the West, even without Paul. But I see where you're coming from, though.
I was gonna say, because remember when we talked about, sorry, Stone, don't want to when we talked about the Suns at the beginning of the year, we thought they were going to be like Oklahoma City and just make the playoffs, but just kind of the run that they had. Next, of course, if he's there just to help, Devin Booker should be in this conversation in the top 3 MVP list, but he's not. So I would say that yes, Devin Booker was balling, and obviously Robles probably felt a little bit different about Booker before, but if you wanted to take stats away and just put value to a team, a player that's valuable to the team, we're obviously going to say like LeBron James, because everyone's going to look at LeBron James's number, but we know his value because he's the best player in the league.
Yeah,
but I just want to take it as a different metric versus just it's all stats, numbers, and everything else as well. Because
you can make the same argument for Steph Curry, who we haven't brought in on this list.
Yeah.
Who, if Luka's going to be playing in the play-in tournament, you know who else is playing in that play-in tournament? Steph Curry, and that's because he's brought his team to that next level without key players. And so that's a valuable player on the team to have.
Yeah, see, that's what I was just thinking too. Like, if you take stats away from it and you just look at the player as an individual and what they do for a team, I feel like you have a much larger list because there's a lot of guys that bring that type of value to a team. And I was never big on Chris Paul. Honestly enough, I said earlier, I think before we went live, that my brother and a buddy of ours is coming down this weekend to hang out. And Kevin, who's my buddy, he was like, he's a huge Clippers fan. He's always been a Clippers fan. And he was a huge Chris Paul fan. He was such a huge Chris Paul fan that when we would play 2K, he would Chris Paul in 2K would have like 60 points. Everyone else on the team would have like 10. Like, it was insane. But a huge Chris Paul fan. And I was just never that hyped on him. And even when he came to OKC, I was never super hyped on him, but I respected the fact that he was coming and he was willing to put in the effort to do something with the team. And just watching him play with the team and to see how well the team did without PG, without Russ, without an all-star caliber player, it was interesting to watch. And then you see what he's doing now, and it's just like the guy brings so much to a team, and he's so useful and helpful in so many ways. And I feel like if you were to remove stats from the conversation and you were like, who would you put on a list? I'm with you. I think Chris Paul would be on that list in a heartbeat because of just what he does for a team.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, I know I wanted to challenge you guys and at least thought wise and getting y'all's opinion on it. But let's finish this off, I suppose, on and tell everyone who you guys think is going to win MVP. And Stone, at least you get to actually make a prediction because it's not too early in the season, Stone.
That was always his caveat. It's too early. It's too
well,
early.
but I mean, come on. When the NBA season starts, like,
I know, but we talk basketball, so just join in on the ride. Just have fun.
Yeah, you're right. No, I would just say, like,
I'm sorry. We had to put ourselves in a barbershop, situation for us to have fun.
None of us are qualified.
Is that Eli Manning?
I just want to put that
on the wall.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Oh my God. What barbershop are we in? Get that off.
There's also a baseball player back there.
No,
I'm a hockey player right here.
I don't know what's going on in the middle.
No, I'm gonna stick with Embiid. I think a month left, and he can turn that around pretty quick. I think with a month left, and as long as he doesn't take a whole lot of breaks, I think he can get it done.
Okay, so you asked who who is gonna win it. It's gonna be Jokic. But I think I would want to go Embiid. Like my vote, I would vote Embiid. So yeah, Nick.
All right.
Yeah, just because he's on my fantasy team, I gotta go with Embiid.
He's been
That's
crushing
nice.
it for you too, man.
Yeah, he has been
Yeah.
crushing it for him too.
He's
Like,
and that's the thing that would hurt him was just that his injury. But like you said, there's still a lot of games left. I mean, not a lot, but we still got some games to go, and he will get everyone's attention again.
But even the ones he did play, like he just dominated. And I think it was like 10 games or so, maybe more than that. I think 10 games recently, but yeah. Anyways, sorry.
no, you're good. This one's, I mean, like you guys are all mulling about it. It's pretty tough. I'm still gonna go with my pick that I've chosen at the very beginning, the Joker.
Donovan Mitchell. Oh,
yeah.
So if he wins, he's gonna call us all haters again.
I had to have fun with it, It's what the barbershop does, man. We talking. Wait until we talk about the MVPs, or not MVPs. Wait until we talk about the GOAT.
You should do the Eddie Murphy in Coming to America.
Coming to America.
Barber.
I'll work on that. I want
to see it next time. I want to see it.
Oh, good. Okay. Shadow's going Embiid. Nice. So
right.
Shadow's with who? Me and you, Nick, right?
All three of us.
Oh, Stone.
Stone
Stone
too.
I'm the only one.
Cool.
Yeah, I saved my pick, the lock this time, so it should be in there.
All right, cool.
Shouldn't go in as 0.
All right. So if you are listening later on YouTube, let us know in the comments who you got winning MVP this year. It's been a great season though. Like despite COVID and all that and shortened amount of games, like it's still been competitive. There's been some great basketball being played. So I am curious about the Denver Nuggets now though. Like what's his face? Michael Porter Jr. needs to step up. So they're going to be interesting to watch, the Nuggets, without their leader, their little floor general, and Jamal Murray. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks so much for listening again to another episode of Courtside Central. If you're here on Twitch, Shadow, Kage, anyone else listening, thanks so much for being here. And on YouTube, thank you so much. Leave some comments on the video, please. We appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you next week talking more basketball. And we'll catch y'all later. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye-bye. I need to stop doing that. Bye-bye.
You need a better closeout.
Boys.
You gotta work on your